She's my, she's my sound expert. Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Becky Glam. Glam is spelled Glamm, with the second M being silent. This year I'm having a milestone birthday. I turned 70 in August. And yeah, a lot of people have difficulty with their milestone birthdays, and to tell you the truth, I was a little concerned that I'd have issues with this particular birthday until I realized that 70 is the new 69. So I think I'll be okay with it. And besides, I don't have gray hair yet, which is cool. In fact, that's my superpower. So I've been thinking about my childhood lately, and I had a good childhood. It wasn't without its minor traumas, but one of the bigger traumas for me was the dreaded air kiss. You know, when an adult greets you and they go cheek to cheek with a mwah in there, I hated it. And the reason I hated it was because I didn't understand the rules. I thought a kiss meant that you were going to kiss someone on the cheek. But with an air kiss, it was physically impossible because your cheeks are side by side. You're looking confused, Janice. So anyway, I thought I was doing it wrong, and that made me feel bad, and I even tried to, sneak in a little smooch on the side, but it never ever worked. The air kiss came from my mother's side of the family. She was a proper New York woman. My dad, on the other hand, was from New Mexico. And the New Mexican relatives did not do the air kiss. They were far too rugged for that kind of nonsense. But the New York aunts, every time you saw them, they went in for the air kiss. And as I said, I just hated it. I didn't understand it. And as I got on in age, I was probably 19, and I thought, physics be damned, I'm gonna give a kiss to my aunt next time I see her. So sure enough, I see my elderly aunt. She comes in for an air kiss, and I turn around and I give her a big smooch on the cheek, thinking I nailed it. But her reaction was to touch her cheek and say, "Oh my." So that's when I realized that the purpose of an air kiss is really not to kiss at all. So. Then in my 20s, I moved to Wisconsin, and in Wisconsin, you all have your own kissing culture. In Wisconsin, you throw your mother out the window a kiss. I think that comes from the Germanic influence here in Wisconsin. Yep. But throw your mother out the window a kiss? When I moved here, I was so worried for the mothers of Wisconsin. In fact, before I had children, I insist that we move into a ranch house because I wouldn't have so far to fall when I got thrown out the window by my kids. But as it turned out, my kids were more huggers than kissers, so I was never really in any danger. And I never subjected them to the dreaded air kiss. Now, had I done so, though, they would have eventually had Google to turn to. So I've got some instructions here in case somebody goes in for an air kiss and you don't know what to do. This is right from Google. Number 1, initiate. Approach the person and lean in, turning your head at a 45-degree angle to avoid your noses bumping. Did not know that could be an issue. But like I said, I never understood it. Number 2, contact or near contact. Lightly touch cheek to cheek or hover just to the side of their face. Number 3, the kiss. Purse your lips and kiss the air, often accompanied by a light kissing sound. Number 4, repeat. Repeat the process on the other side. In some cultures, like France, this process is repeated indefinitely. So I actually went to France last year, and Janice came with me. And you may not know this, but Janice speaks fluent French. And boy, she had those waiters wrapped around her little finger with her flawless accent. As for me, I took 2 years of French in college, which means I'm about 1% fluent in French. So it was very nice to have Janice's company and her linguistic skills. So we saw a lot of art, and we really enjoyed the Impressionists like Claude Monet. He had a whole building dedicated to him where we saw all his water lily pictures. It was quite nice. Come to find out, Monet had a little house not far from France. It was from France, not far from Paris. It was in the country. And the house itself was quite charming and very nice. But what really was the showstopper were the gardens. I mean, beautiful, beautiful gardens with, the mature trees and a pond with lily pads with flowers and a little Japanese bridge over it and flowers, so many flowers. It was stunning. It was absolutely beautiful. Come to find out, Monet designed the garden himself. And I venture to say he was a master gardener. And knowing that, it just saddens me that he's only remembered for his paintings. So Janice and I got annual passes to the Louvre, and that allowed us to go in a special entrance without waiting. So we went to the Louvre about 6 or 7 times. Once we went just to have a croissant. And as you can imagine, the Louvre is full of art. There's so much art you can't possibly see it all. But you know what the Louvre doesn't have? Bathrooms. And the bathrooms they have are scattered all over the place with no discernible order. They're hidden here and there. So when Janice and I got back, we collaborated on a booklet that we called The Hidden Bathrooms of the Louvre, with a special section on which bathrooms have stalls that are out of order. And it's been a hit. It's been published in 42 languages. And in fact, we've got the booklet here back at the merch table. If you want to buy a copy, it's only one simple payment of $5.99. Janice and I are happy to autograph it for you if you so wish. So I flew back through Chicago. We both did, but we took different flights. And boy, they had really stepped up security in Chicago. I was surprised. I've seen different levels of security at different airports. Like once I was in Ireland and I remember, these guards walking around with machine guns, and that kind of made me feel safe until I stopped and wondered, how did they get those machine guns past the security that we all have to go through? But in Chicago, like I said, they really stepped it up. I was at the baggage claim area, and they brought out Bernie, the banana sniffing beagle. And Bernie was good at his job. He probably sniffed out bananas from 3 or 4 passengers. And his handler had like this specialized holster. It was kind of wide, and she'd get the bananas and she'd stick them in her holster. It looked kind of funny. And I don't know if Bernie was cross-trained on other fruits or not, or if he was a banana specialist. And I don't know how many people try to, sneak in bananas to our country. But I'm telling you, on that day, no bananas were brought into the Chicago airport, not on Bernie's watch. So that's all I've got. Reminder of our booklet back at the merch table. I think it would make a great stocking stuffer. Thank you.